So the following are memories of what I like to call my in-between life. I'd like to share this knowledge with others who are interested in it. First off, I'd like to add that in this current life, I have a photographic memory that goes back all the way since my birth. I was asleep for many, many years in a dark place called the Void. Some people may refer to this as purgatory, but I don't really know if that's what it is. I just call it the Void. I was not dreaming. I was not conscious. Just drifting into a black space all alone. And then a beam of light woke me up saying, the time has come for me to go down again. It was more like they imprinted this thought into my essence. At this point, things started to happen simultaneously as if I had split up, which is the best way to describe it. This can best be described also as a big bureaucracy. I had to go to this place to get the green light to progress into the reincarnation circle. They checked my essence. I can't explain what or how they did this, as this part goes blurry in my memory. I was in a room with what appeared to be a woman who was talking to me, and she gave me the confirmation, I guess, that I could continue, and I left through what appeared to be a door. Everybody in this place took a human form. I didn't, though. However, my energy was more leaning toward a human male. So next, I left this office, I guess you would say, and I was back at drifting in the void. I saw a light in the distance of which I knew I had to go. It looked as if it was a border between light and dark, a small gap, a ripple in space, and a man stood there who appeared to be a guard. I had already met this man several times, although I can't remember. He reads these documents given to him by the Bureau. The documents contain everything that I've done in my past life. After reading it, he gave me a number and he let me pass through. The number given to me states my position in queue. This place is a white place with nothing to see except for one gigantic line of souls waiting to reincarnate, all one after the other in good order based on the number given. There are some types of guards constantly walking back and forth. Most are in human form, as mentioned earlier. I had no need to talk to any of them. Talking goes by thought, though, and not by the spoken word. I saw some spirits that were in human form that were eating and drinking, and so I asked this being in front of me, what about these people doing this? And he replied that some souls are so accustomed to their human form that they still feel the need to eat and drink, which of course is not necessary for more advanced souls. So next, at the front of the line is a gigantic golden gate, with guards doing the final check. This is the last time you can say whether or not you want to continue. There was turmoil because of a human form not wanting to reincarnate into the life given to him. The guards asked if somebody wants to take his place. People who take someone's place are given lots of respect because if this doesn't happen, then a human life may not be born. And this is very important, so I volunteered. Next, they took me out of line and brought me forth to the gate. The guard showed me where I would reincarnate, which family, and how I'd look, and some of the ups and downs. I accepted, and they let me pass through. After I got past the gate, I saw there were 12 portals. There are only humans that go through portals 5, 6, 7, and 8. I went through portal 7. Before going through, however, I had to meet up with about 12 other human forms, and they were talking about different things. I had no interest in this conversation, or this communication, I should say. They were deciding who was going to go first, second, etc. I went through in the third place. All these human forms already knew each other, but I didn't know any of them. The guards placed me into this portal, which I can describe as some sort of a plasma bubble, and they powered the portal up, and I got sucked into a tunnel, and I see a light at the end of the tunnel. I hear sound, and I'm born, and now I am a human baby. So this isn't easy to communicate. I'm doing so because I need to share this. I've kept these memories for the past 30 years, and I think it's time to release them. Perhaps there are people who will find them interesting. Let me tell you a brief profile of myself as what I am right now. I'm a female in my early 30s. I'm not religious and have never been, and do not have any children. I grew up to be serious, but I'm a kind person. These memories I have started at my earliest that I could remember, before I could talk, or perhaps before the age of 2. Maybe even before then, but I can't remember. These were the last seconds of my previous life, I remember. I'm in a cockpit, and I'm a fighter pilot. I'm pretty sure I'm a male, and it's the early 20th century. I have a strong sense of duty. I'm in a battle, and I'm hit with bullets piercing through my back and my head several times. I feel excruciating pain, and time begins to slow down. I begin to hear less and less. My vision is going away, and I know I'm dying. And all I want to do is look at this black and white picture of a young woman that's on my right, wedged between dials. I'm falling forward as the shots keep coming and hitting my plane. Things, as I mentioned, are becoming slower, and for a few moments my eyes lock on the picture. I only have tender feelings toward her, and her picture comforts me, and all I want to do is remember her. I felt no pain, just disappointment at this time, and I knew that I would never see her again. As I make my way forward, I see a panel on the plane, and that's it. Now, when it comes to the next part of what I'm going to tell you, I only have pieces of everything, so bear with me. I'm not on the earth. It's dark. I'm not in a human body, and I communicate instead of talking, able to express my emotions and use them in conjunction with other feelings. Something appears in front of me, and I'm curious but not scared. Whatever this thing is, it's trying to calm me down because of my death. I'd been recovering from trauma, but my mind, or how I was feeling, was still flashing back to the pain. And all I can think about is that I abandoned that girl in that picture, and that somehow she was relying on me. After the communication with this being, or whatever it was, I'm feeling better, and I feel a need to see this girl again. However, this being is now across from me and tells me that it's going to be a long time, and if I would to return, she would be about 70 years old, and I might not be able to contact her in time. I don't know how that could be, but that's what I was told. At this point, I hit anger and desperation, and I start screaming telepathically why there was no way for me to see her. Also, I have a hard time describing the kind of place that I'm in. It's not heaven or hell, I don't think, and I guess maybe some people would call it purgatory. Anyways, I'm told that if I go see her, the only thing that I can do is see her later on in her life, somewhere between 70 and 100 years old, and she might be dead. I don't know why this is, and why I'm being told this. I've not read this in other types of near-death experience accounts, but that's what I was told. And I just keep getting angrier and angrier in this state, and I keep arguing emotionally with this being. Somehow or some way, it finally all ends, and I think we negotiate, but I know that I cannot win, and that's all that I remember. So at that point, I just start to get ready for my next life, and that's the last thing that I really remember of that conversation with that being. And I guess at some point we're both pleased, and we just decide to move elsewhere. Suddenly, a structure similar to a spiral and a ship steering wheel appear with burning orbs at the tops of every end. I understand that those are my previous lives. I spin the wheel and look inside of the burning orbs. Each has a picture in them. Every time I look at any of them, I play out that life, and I learn from it. I learn from all of them. There are dozens of burning orbs as I spin to the end and learn the lesson of every life, and especially the life of my time as a pilot. I stand back and communicate that I've observed that I've been a male more times than a female. I bring up a couple of female lives, one as a little girl no more than 13 at the time of death, and another where I was very unhappy, so I chose to be a female this time around. Then questions ask what family do I want, and a few options are given. I don't look at any of them though, and I just say that I don't really care or it doesn't matter. I also communicate that we should be able to carry our life lessons everywhere so that we learn everything that we can in our next life. As the communication ends, I'm on my way. I can see outer space, I can see planets, however, none of them are in our solar system, and I'm traveling very, very fast. However, I'm not going through any kind of tunnel reaching a light. I see all kinds of colors, and I see things as they once were, and this is where things get really weird. As I'm traveling through the cosmos, I am disappointed that I'm going to the Earth. I want to go somewhere else, perhaps another planet, and then, all of a sudden, nothing.